karate-chopping, man-throwing Kathy Gale in The Avengers broke down barriers of male physical supremacy over women on television. Never before had a woman been portrayed as someone who could hold her own in a fight against a man. My capers caught the eye of the producers of Goldfinger, who then had the script rewritten to include martial arts, and I even wrote a book on self-defense.
Luckily, I've never had to defend myself in real life. But of course I know I could if I have to. But for one group of women in history, it became an absolute necessity.
In the first decade of the 20th century, women were fighting for the right to vote. The suffragettes, as they became known, were growing in number. The movement decided they needed to defend themselves from the police, who they saw as an aggressive enemy. One woman was of particular importance in this change of tactics. Her name was Edith Garrud, a teacher of the Japanese martial art jiujitsu.
In 1909, Edith taught here in Golden Square, London, with her husband William.
So how did Edith, only 4'11" in height, become such a key person in the fight for women's rights? Dr. Emmeline Godfrey is a historian who has researched the life of Edith Garrud.
In 1909, they were invited by Emmeline Pankhurst and the suffragettes to give a presentation. Everybody absolutely loved it. They said, well, can you become a bit more involved with us?
I don't think that I would ever have been able to battle through with a long dress on. The black leather was more to the point.
Within 3 years, Edith was at the heart of the suffragettes' plans to resist police authority, including training an elite group of women to guard Emmeline Pankhurst. Edith and jiu-jitsu became synonymous with the suffragette movement. One magazine even coined the phrase "jute suffragettes," calling them a new terror for the London police. And on the 1st of March 1912, 150 suffragettes met for one of their most audacious protests yet. They were angry that shopkeepers, who were supposed to be loyal to them, weren't supporting the cause.
There'd be ladies walking across the street by the shops, innocently looking at the windows, and then suddenly they'd whip out items such as this hammer here. And this is a toffee hammer, which is small, and it can be
quite weighty, isn't it?
And they would whip that out, smash a window, and run off.
The suffragettes escaped to Edith Garrud's dojo, where she provided them with a refuge.
They would put their items underneath the floorboards, they would get changed for a jiu-jitsu lesson, and then the policeman would come knocking on the door, and Edith would say, "This is very, very unchivalrous of you to come in and interrupt a ladies' jiu-jitsu session. We're having a class. I don't know anything about it."
It was unusual for a woman like me in the 1960s to learn a martial art, but at the beginning of the last century it was even more so. Sybil Evans and Jenny Cooper are Edith Garrud's granddaughters.
She could be quite domineering, but then when
she
you're
was
a suffragette...
Was she a bossy boots?
Oh, yes,
yeah.
Very bossy.
Yeah.
We knew she was a suffragette. We knew she threw people over her, well, policemen, over her shoulder.
Yes.
But other than that, she was just Nana.
Did she ever practice anything on you?
She held my hand really tight, and I had to pull her thumb back to get her hand off of me.
You didn't practice on your husband?
No.
So how difficult was it for a woman less than 5 feet in height, dressed in a full-length skirt and wearing a hat, to defend herself against a burly Edwardian policeman?
She was able to use the force of her opponent to throw him and demonstrate how a smaller person can beat a much larger person.
Can you imagine your grandma doing that? Edith Garrud was small in stature, but she was a big figure in the suffragette movement. And she proved that women could defend themselves just as well as any man.